Okay. So 59% of American teachers report high rates of job related stress and burnout. And two-thirds of American teachers don't make it to retirement. They find a different profession before they reach that retirement age. And I have definitely been there. I mean, trying to fit all of the state mandated pieces of curriculum in while making it interesting and motivating for children, managing individual children's needs and behaviors, and doing it all with limited planning and prep time. And when I was just starting out as a first year teacher, I mean, that first year, veteran teachers warned me about the demands of job and said, you've got to find work life balance, all the usual things: exercise, eat well, make time for friends, get your sleep, take time for self care. Um, but I was in the building at 7 in the morning. I left the building around 5. I did manage to go directly to the gym, get home after the gym, shower, eat, and then I did planning and prep for the next day. So, you know, when was I really finding the time for self care? When I was cutting and prepping inside and outside of work. So, I am Nicole Drillis Fravel, and this is Wildwood Teaching. And today I am going to tell you how I found the secret to that work life balance. And really, the secret is to find less stress within the preschool classroom, to reduce the on job stress so that you really can achieve work life balance within the work day. Now, if you've been following Wildwood Teaching lately, you might have heard me mention my 3 pillars of nature based learning. And those are the 3 legs that make up the foundation upon which everything I do at Wildwood Nature School and at Wildwood Teaching is based. And they are: first, co-constructed learning; second, nature-based materials; and third, the learning environment. So it's that last pillar that I'm going to talk about today. And you've probably guessed what I'm going to say. That's right. Take it outside. The one simple step of taking your preschool class outside can go a long way to reducing stress for both the teachers and the children. And there are no shortage of studies showing the calming effects of nature. Recently, it has been highly advertised that as little as 20 minutes in nature reduces cortisol levels, reduces blood pressure, reduces anxiety, enhances immune system functioning, and increases self esteem. This is why, you ever wondered why? Your dentist has those photographs of waterfalls and beautiful landscapes on the walls. Mine, even at one point, had it on the ceiling. And this is because any exposure to nature has that calming effect. If it's a photograph, if it's merely a green space outside your window. Now, of course, there are gradations, right? So, looking at a photograph of nature is good. Having nature outside your window, better. Actually, being outside in nature, the best way to have all of those positive benefits. And Japanese even have a name for it. And I'm going to read it so that I don't mess up the pronunciation. But it's Shinrin Yoku, or otherwise known as forest bathing, which encapsulates all of those positive effects when you just are, when you just be in nature. And while you are getting your forest bathing in, children are also reaping their own emotional and cognitive benefits. Because time in nature has been shown to reduce symptoms of ADHD in children and lead to not only greater creativity, but also greater academic success. Now, a long time ago, when I taught kindergarten in a public school, another kindergarten teacher came to me and asked me for some ideas for teaching math outside. This was right after Congress had passed the No Child Left Behind Act, which, among other things, instituted some negative financial consequences for schools that did not reach certain benchmarks as measured by children taking standardized tests. So there were a lot of negative consequences to this presumably well-intentioned law. I'm only going to cover one here, and that is that the standardized tests that first graders, yes, 6-year-olds taking standardized tests, first graders through third graders took, only covered two subjects. They covered reading and math. So as I was in a Title I school, at the time, we kindergarten teachers, we first grade teachers, second grade teachers, third grade teachers were told by the school district reading and math are covered on the standardized tests. So those are the only two things that are important for you to be teaching, reading and math. So whatever you do, I'm not telling you can't do it. Whatever you do needs to have a reading and math connection. So if you want to bring out the art supplies, make sure they're doing an art project that has a connection to math or reading. If you want to bring out the instruments, make sure that music is tied to math or rhythm. If you are taking the children outside, make sure they're counting how many times they're going down the slide or whatever it is. So a teacher realized, she said, my kids really need to get outside. So can you give me some ideas for how I can teach math outside? And you know me, right? Of course, I can come up with thousands of ideas of how you can teach math outside in nature. So I agreed. And later that afternoon, I sat down to make my list. And I started making my list. And then I stopped because really, was this what the children needed? And I went back to my colleague the next day and I said, I could give you a bunch of ideas for how to teach math outside. And if you still want them, I am happy to do that. But really, here is my advice. Take the children outside, let them play, let them release their energy, let them give their brains a break, right? Do whatever they want for 20, 30 minutes. Then bring them back inside, do whatever you were going to do for math, and I promise you, they will learn more. They will understand it better. Whatever you do, they will have more motivation for it as well. So, this is my advice to you: go outside. Just take that one simple first step to change your mindset. Now, is this it? Is this the end of the story? You just go outside and everything is great? No, no. There is, of course, more to it, but you have to take that first step. You have to take that first step of getting outside before we can add anything else to it. And do I want outside time to only be seen as the break, the recess, your brain break, the fun outside, a place where learning doesn't happen? No, again, there is more to it. And next week, I will be talking about the simple routines that you are already doing inside that you can take outside directly with no other changes, no other additions. Just take what you're doing that is a learning academic activity inside and take it outside. So I will see you there.